Thank you very much. I'm David Madigan. I'm the Provost here at Northeastern. I am thrilled to be here. I am thrilled that we're having this event. This is a major moment in the life of this university, and I think will profoundly impact our future, our collective future. I'm between you and lunch, so I'll be very brief. Let me just say a quick word about Northeastern, which is an extraordinary university, an extraordinarily innovative university that embraces change like no other. We recently developed a new strategic plan. I'll put my glasses back on so I can see people. We recently developed a new strategic plan that was a collective effort involving the entire community over the course of about a year. It was adopted by the board in the fall. And I just thought I'd say a very brief word about it, just to give you some context for the Institute for Experiential AI. So the plan lays out very clearly what our North Star is as a university, and that North Star is impact. Impact and leadership. So we exist to have positive impact in the world. It seems perhaps a little banal, but it profoundly affects every decision that we make. For one thing, it calls on us to be in all parts of the world. If we're going to maximize our impact in the world, our positive impact in the world, we're not going to do it by staying in Boston, and indeed we don't. And we now have locations around North America, in the US, in Canada, in the UK, and there will be other locations. So bear that in mind, right? It's about having impact. It's about starting in the world and working backwards from there. And it speaks to things that are deep in the DNA of this university. For example, co-op. Where it's basically every undergraduate does 2, often 3 6-month co-ops. They're very much engaged in the world. If you stop a random undergraduate on your way out of here, I guarantee you they'll tell you they're just back from co-op or they're just going on co-op. So this university is very much infused with the world. We're not an ivory tower. We're in the world, engaged in the world. So in that context, like the emergence of AI, data science, machine learning, whatever you want to call it. I'm a statistician, so I call it statistics myself. This is a massive kind of flood that's coming over us as a world and as a society. We are awash in data. In every walk of, every sphere of human activity, there are torrents of data that simply didn't exist 10 years ago, certainly 50 years ago. That is, it's a complete game changer, and there's nothing that isn't touched by this revolution. So if we are going to maximize our positive impact in the world, we need to be deep and broad in AI. There's no choice. We must do this. We are thrilled that Usama joined us to lead this effort. Usama is the perfect person to lead this, and I think we have an extraordinarily exciting future in front of us. I think what marks our effort, and I think you've heard this theme a few times already today, what marks our effort as distinct is we're not focused on, as many other AI efforts are, on the algorithms and the theory and the hardware and so on. That's all important, but what we're emphasizing is what Usama calls the last mile, which is there's a huge gulf between 90% of the kind of body of knowledge that you might point to as AI. There's a huge gap between that and actually solving problems in the world. That's the piece where we are going to focus on. That's the piece, I think, where we're uniquely positioned to really move the needle, to really help solve problems in the world. It is completely consistent with the mission of the university. This isn't off to one side. This is centrally important to the mission of the university. Let me read you a quote which I'm very fond of, which I think captures the spirit of this, that it's not solely about technology and theory and hardware and so on. It's a quote from the late Chuck Vest. All the scientific and technical skills of which we can conceive will not solve our world problems if we do not build and adapt a base of human and cultural understanding, ethical and moral underpinnings, sensible rules of law for the 21st century, and integration with the insights, inspirations, and communications of the arts. That was for you, Elizabeth. So you don't solve problems in the world with technology alone. It takes a university. It takes a university and its partners to solve problems. That's what we're all about. So this is a big moment for Northeastern. The last thing I just touch on is a kind of a prelude for the session after lunch. You're going to hear from the Northeastern deans. We have 9 colleges at Northeastern, approximately, depending on the day of the week. but certainly 9 established colleges. And they're led by a spectacular cast of deans that I have the great privilege of working with on a day-to-day basis. So there, what you will hear from the deans is this is across all 9 colleges, right? The intersection of what we're calling experiential AI, and what goes on here is everywhere. It is pervasive at this university. So you'll hear from them after lunch. With that said, go enjoy lunch. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here.